The marketplace on Station Epsilon hummed with 1,000 different languages, but none of them welcomed her. Kira pressed herself against the cold metal wall, watching the crowd surge past with their purposeful strides and destination-filled eyes. 3 cycles ago, she had been a respected xenobiologist aboard the research vessel Meridian. Now she was nothing. An outcast. Her own people had stripped her of rank, credentials, and citizenship after she had refused to falsify data that would have justified a planetary annexation. The Terran Coalition didn't tolerate whistleblowers even when they were right, especially when they were right. Her stomach cramped with hunger. The last of her credits had gone 2 days ago, spent on a protein bar that tasted like recycled cardboard. She had tried every hiring kiosk on the station, but her flagged ID triggered immediate rejections. No one hired exiles. No one even looked at them. A small hand tugged at her sleeve. Kira looked down to find 2 identical girls staring up at her with enormous green eyes. They couldn't have been more than 8 years old, with matching auburn braids and freckles scattered across their noses like constellations. Human, clearly, though their clothes carried the practical, warm quality of station life rather than planetary wealth. "You're hungry," the girl on the left said. It wasn't a question. "We can tell," the girl on the right added, nodding sagely. "You have the look. We used to have the look too, before Papa." Kira straightened, trying to summon dignity she no longer possessed. "I'm fine. You 2 should get back to your parents." "Just Papa," left girl corrected. "Mama died when we were babies. Asteroid mining accident. We remember her smell though," right girl said softly. "Papa says that counts." The casual mention of death, delivered with such matter-of-fact acceptance, struck Kira harder than it should have. These children had learned survival young, just as she was learning it now. "I'm sorry," Kira managed, "but I really should go." "Where?" left girl asked, cocking her head. "You've been standing in this same spot for 6 hours. We watched. You're not going anywhere because you have nowhere to go," right girl concluded with the brutal honesty only children possessed. "Just like we had nowhere to go before Papa found us in the cargo bay, eating ration paste from torn packets. He didn't turn us in," left girl continued. "He took us home instead. Fed us, taught us to read, gave us names. I'm Nala," left girl announced. "I'm Neela," right girl added. "And you need a home," they said in unison. Kira felt her throat tighten. "Girls, life doesn't work that way. You can't just adopt every stray you find." "Papa did," Nala countered. "And we're adopting you for him," Nala finished. "For him?" The twins exchanged one of those mysterious looks that siblings share, whole conversations passing in a glance. Then they both reached out and took one of Kira's hands each. "Papa is lonely," Nala said simply. "He tries to hide it, but we hear him sometimes at night, talking to Mama's picture." "He needs someone," Neela agreed. "Someone smart. Someone kind. Someone who knows what it's like to be alone." "We've been watching the station for weeks," Nala explained as they began gently pulling Kira along. "Looking for the right person. Someone Papa would like," Neela added. "Someone who wouldn't see us as baggage. But mostly someone who has the look," they concluded together. "The look of someone who understands that family isn't about blood. It's about choosing each other." Kira should have pulled away, should have explained that this was insane, that their father would be horrified, that she was wanted by no one and welcome nowhere. But her hands, as if operating independently from her brain, held tight to those small, warm fingers. They led her through the twisting corridors of the station's residential sectors, areas she had avoided because she had no business in places where people actually lived. The walls here were decorated with painted murals. Plants grew in hydroponic boxes. Children's laughter echoed from somewhere nearby. The apartment they stopped at was small but immaculate. The door slid open to reveal a space that practically radiated care. Books lined shelves made from recycled cargo containers. Plants thrived in every available corner. Drawings covered the walls, clearly made by young hands, depicting stick figures holding hands beneath crayon suns. "Papa!" The twins called out. "We're home." A man emerged from what looked like a kitchen area, wiping his hands on a towel. He was tall, broad-shouldered, with silver threading through dark hair and the weathered face of someone who had spent years in hard labor. His eyes, the same green as his daughter's, widened when they landed on Kira. "Girls," he said slowly, his voice a deep rumble. "Who is this?" "This is our solution," Nala announced proudly. "To your loneliness problem," Neela clarified. The man's face went through several interesting color changes. "You're what now?" "Papa, you're lonely," Nala said gently. "We know it. You know it. Everyone knows it. You need a spouse," Neela continued. "Someone to talk to. Someone to share things with. And she needs a home," they finished together, gesturing to Kira. "It's perfect." The man looked at Kira with an expression of such profound mortification that under any other circumstances she would have laughed. Instead, she found herself saying, "I'm sorry. I tried to explain this was crazy, but they're very determined." "That's an understatement," he muttered, then seemed to remember his manners. "I'm Grant Holloway, former asteroid miner, current station maintenance supervisor, and apparently father to 2 matchmaking menaces." "Kira Vance," she replied, "former xenobiologist, current exile and unemployed vagrant. Your daughters found me contemplating whether starvation or pride would kill me first." Something shifted in Grant's eyes. Recognition, perhaps. The look of someone who had been there, who understood what it meant to have nothing. "You hungry?" he asked simply. "Starving," she admitted. "Then sit." Girls set another place. The twins practically vibrated with excitement as they rushed to obey. Kira found herself guided to a table that showed the marks of countless family meals. Urns and scratches, and the indefinable patina of regular use. Grant returned with a pot of something that smelled like heaven. Stew, thick and rich, with real vegetables. He ladled generous portions into bowls, while the twins chattered about their day, their lessons, their elaborate plans to turn Kira into their new mother. "We thought this through very carefully," Nala explained, ticking points off on her fingers. "She's smart. You can tell by the way she uses big words. She's kind," Neela added. "She didn't yell at us even though we basically kidnapped her. And she's pretty," they agreed. "You're always saying Mama was pretty. This way, you're staying consistent." Grant buried his face in his hands. "I'm so sorry," he told Kira. "They've been reading too many romance novels from the station library." "The good ones," Nala defended. "Where broken people find each other and build something better. Like you and Mama did," Neela added softly. "You told us that story. How you were both alone, both lost, until you weren't anymore." The table fell silent. Grant's eyes had gone distant, memories playing across his features. When he spoke, his voice was rough. "Your mother saved me," he said quietly. "I was heading down a dark path. She saw something worth saving when no one else did, including me. And now Papa saves people," Nala told Kira proudly. "He's saved 73 station workers from accidents. Got medals and everything. But he couldn't save himself from being lonely," Nyla said. "That's where you come in." Kira took a bite of stew, buying time to think. It was delicious, seasoned with care and attention. This man, this stranger, was feeding her without hesitation, without judgment, because his daughters had asked. Because he understood hunger, loneliness, desperation. "I'm flagged," she said finally. The coalition exiled me. Anyone who helps me risks their own standing. Grant shrugged. The coalition doesn't run this station. Independent governance. They have no jurisdiction here. I have no money. No prospects. Nothing to offer. Can you read? He asked. Of course. Can you teach? That was part of my job, yes. Then you can help with the girls' education. I do my best, but I'm a minor, not a scholar. He paused, studying her. Can you forgive yourself for doing the right thing even when it cost you everything? The question hit like a physical blow. Kira felt tears prick her eyes. I'm working on it. Then you're already ahead of where I was, Grant said. He stood, moving to a cabinet and returning with a datapad. Station maintenance is always hiring. I can get you an interview tomorrow. Entry level, but it's honest work and it pays. Why? Kira whispered. Why would you do this? Grant glanced at his daughters, who were watching with barely contained hope. Because 3 years ago, I found 2 little girls eating garbage in my cargo bay. They should have been terrified. Should have run. Instead, they looked up at me and said, "You look sad. Do you need a hug?" And I realized I did. I really, really did. He turned back to Kira. Maybe they're right. Maybe we all need something. You need a home. I need someone who understands that living and surviving aren't the same thing. And they need to learn that taking chances on people, choosing family over convenience, is how you build something that matters. Nala and Neela clasped hands, barely breathing. I'm not promising marriage, Grant added quickly. I'm promising a job, a room, and time. Time to heal. Time to figure out what comes next. For all of us. Kira looked around the small apartment, at the plants and books and draw.